Hoy, kamusta? Magandang hapon po. Kamusta ba ang long weekend? Naway kayo nakapag-recharge ang lahat. Ako po si Lourdes Vera.
At ako naman po si Denise Tan. Kung bitin ang tulog o yung bakasyon, grabe naman yan. Sobra-sobra na. Joke lang. Bawi na lang po tayo. Look on the bright side. Because in 4 days, Friday na ulit. But for now, laban lang. Keep the fight. Welcome to Afternoon Delight.
May countdown na pala tayo.
Oo nga.
Ilang days to go before Christmas?
51 days na lang.
51 days to go na lang.
Akala ko yung countdown na sinasabi mo, 4 days to go till Friday. Every week yan.
Hindi ko alam si Denise, pero every Monday, nagpapasalamat ako na ako ay may marangal na trabaho.
Ay, syempre, ako rin naman.
Kung ayaw mo naman,
Hindi, ang countdown ko lang is kasi every weekend, family time. Na-save ko yun.
Baka mabangga ka. Sa pag-atras-atras mo, baka mabangga ka dyan.
Hindi. Ito na
May
nga.
sensor ba yan?
Isa sa mga inaabangan natin at yung countdown, of course, is the US presidential election. Officially, 2 days to go na lang. November 5 in the US is November 6 in Manila.
Oo. Ito ba, nakakahalata na ako
Ano?
Parang mga paborito ni Donald Trump ang mga sineserve natin dito pag US elections.
Well, our delight of the day is yung sinasabi nila, synonymous daw with the United States burger and fries.
Oo, pero tingnan mo, ano naalala mo pag ganyan?
Ay, alam na natin kung saan galing yan. Anong
Minute
naalala?
burger?
Hindi, iba pa.
Burger machine?
Parehas ng kulay ng minute burger.
Parehas ng kulay.
Diba? Medyo.
Hindi.
Oo.
Pag parehas yun, ididemanda nila yun.
Di ba parehas ng kulay? Di ba kulay yun? Pula ba dilaw?
Naalala ko, meron saan nga ba yan? Sa Southern Luzon o sa Kabikulan? May pangalan na Big Mac, M-A-K. Dinemanda nila Ronald McDonald. Grabe sila. Talagang, ewan ko, pero anyway, at least to, alam natin, dito nabubulok.
Iuwi ko nga eh.
Hindi yan inaamag kahit ilang araw. Hindi kayo mata. Anyway, sabi na 2 days ago before America becomes a dumpster fire daw.
Nako.
Kasi either way, mukhang ang kinatatakot ng lahat is whether Kamala wins or loses. The MAGA base will never ever accept. At ang takot nila, baka magkaroon itong repeat ng January 6.
Yeah, what happened in the Well, again, Kamala Harris or Donald Trump, whoever wins between the two of them will make history. If Kamala makes it, Kamala will be the first woman American president. If Trump wins, he will be the first former president to do so after being convicted of a crime.
Yun lang yun. Oldest person to take office in the American presidency. Pero anyway, ito ngayon, humahabol tong dalawang to, no? Last minute mga ano. At of course, yung mga swing states, they're working the swing states.
Yep.
Ika nga. At, pero alam mo, may isang sinasabi na the Nostradamus of US elections. Is calling this one for Harris, pero very close.
Dikit na dikit kasi, no? Ito nga yung unang storya natin on Reuters. Harris and Trump locked in a tight race in swing states. NYT Siena poll shows.
Kung sino man manalo dyan, maswerte talaga. Luck talaga. Malalock. Well, margin na statistically tied. Ano? Kahit sinasabi na si Kamala ay 48%, si Trump ay 47%, tie na tie pa rin yun. At itong swing states na tinatawag na to, ito yung mga they can either go, they can go either way. No? Traditionally, may mga states na, ito, alam mo, California, that's really Democrat, liberal talaga bumoto yan. At si Kamala, galing pang California, no? May mga blue states naman, alam mo yung mga sigurado na itong 7 states na to, maaring, lalong-lalo na raw sinasabi na ang Pennsylvania, maaring ma-take down yan ang victory ni Trump. North Carolina, Pennsylvania, at Wisconsin.
Yung Pennsylvania, lalo sinasabi nila, no, what both candidates need to do nga daw is just maintain their states tapos win Pennsylvania. Isa yon sa mga crucial daw.
Tama ba sa Pennsylvania rin nabaril si Trump?
Ano nga ba?
Pennsylvania, di ba?
Pennsylvania
Tama
nga ba yun? Anyway, pag-usapan natin
Philadelphia ba yun?
yung
Anyway,
kalaban niya. Oo, si Vice President Kamala Harris making her final pitch a few hours ago.
Sige nga.
So, Michigan, 2 days to go. You ready? You ready? In one of the most consequential elections of our lifetime, and we have momentum. It is on our side. Can you feel it? And we have the momentum because our campaign is tapping into the ambitions, the aspirations, and the dreams of the American people. Because we are optimistic and excited about what we can do together. And make no mistake, we will win. Because here's what everyone here knows. When you know what you stand for, you know what to fight for. And we have an opportunity in this election to finally turn the page on a decade of politics driven by fear and division. We are done with that, and we are exhausted with it. Well, you all know what we say. We are not going back. We are not going back. We are not going back. Because ours is a fight for the future. And it is a fight for freedom. Including the fundamental freedom of a woman to make decisions about her own body and not have her government tell her what to do. And when Congress passes a bill to restore reproductive freedom nationwide, you know where I'm going. As President of the United States, I will proudly sign it into law. So today, Michigan, I ask you, are you ready to make your voices heard? Do we believe in freedom? Do we believe in opportunity? Do we believe in the promise of America? To fight for it. And when we fight, we win. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.
Michigan, isa rin sa mga swing states. Pero ang sinasabi ng iba, ang Michigan daw may pinakamalaking Arab population sa Amerika, no? At dahil si Kamala ay sumusuport daw sa Israel, medyo delikado daw siya doon sa Arab voters. They're not liking
what's happening right now. Now, on The Guardian, punta tayo sa ating susunod na storya. Now, on The Guardian, Trump disputes Iowa poll showing Harris ahead in red state. He said, quote, "It's not even close."
It's not even close. Oo, kasi ang pinapalabas itong legit naman itong ano na to, no, survey na to, no. Pero sinasabi lamang na nga at hindi makapaniwala itong si Trump kasi traditionally Iowa's always voted Republican talaga.
Now it looks like Trump is laying the groundwork to contest the results that are not favorable to him. His more recent advertisements point to that, including this speech. Watch this.
But you ought to damn well go to paper ballots. You ought to go to voter ID. And you ought to have the election over by 9 o'clock. I'm hearing now they're going to take weeks. Can you imagine? They spend all this money on machines, and they're going to say, we may take an extra 12 days to determine. And what do you think happens during that 12 days? What do you think happens? Okay, it's a crooked country, and we're going to make it straight. We're going to make it straight, and it's not an easy thing to do. They'll want to put you in jail because you want to make it straight. Think of it. Think of it. They cheat on elections, and you call them on it, and they want to put you in jail. Think about it. It's the most incredible thing I've ever seen. But I love it. You know why? Because we've proven something, we've shown something, and we're going to get it fixed, and we got to win this election. It's all up to now. I mean, we got 2 days. We've been working for 9 years. We did a great job. And I have this piece of glass here. But all we have really over here is the fake news, right? And to get me, somebody would have to shoot through the fake news. And I don't mind that so much, because I don't mind. I don't mind that.
Grabe naman yon. Medyo ano yan violente yung call na yun Sino kaya yan? Pag sinasabi yung fake news, either CNN, NBC, MSNBC, meron siya mga paborito tinatawag na fake news. Pero isa sa mga major issues ngayon sa Amerika, itong ang Washington Post, na pag-aari ni Jeff Bezos ng Amazon, at ang Los Angeles Times, itong mga to ay may mga staff na nag-resign kasi dahil binawi bigla ng mga may-ari. Normally kasi nag-endorse mga kandidato itong mga to
Yeah.
Pero ang suspetsyon ng iba, may fear itong si Jeff Bezos sa pag nanalo si Trump, maaaring magkaroon ng audit sa kanyang marami siyang negosyo no? So delikado at biglang pinigil ni Jeff Bezos ang pag-endorse halimbawa sa editorial nito at may mga staff na nag-resign. So mga mayayamang kung mga negosyante kasi ito mga to, minsan yung prioridad talaga nila, of course, yung
sa kumpanya. And
how ironic pa naman, since ang slogan ng Washington Post is democracy dies in darkness.
Abangan natin yung mga mangyayari na,
Biruin mo, partner, naghihingalo na nga ang newspaper business, ganun pa.
That's right.
Pero alam naman natin na walang effect yung mga yan. Nag-endorse in the past itong mga to, wala rin nangyayari.
Oo, ang dami. Even the past elections, ang daming mga ang daming mga celebrities, like big name celebrities talaga nag-endorse. Tapos makikita mo yung opponent yung nanalo. But again, naabangan natin yung magiging resulta ng election. That will be on November 5 U.S. Time. November 6 po dito sa Pilipinas. Now, right now, over 75 million Americans have already casted their votes. Trump and Harris also have casted their votes. At ang U.S. election, like we've mentioned, will be on November 6, Manila time. At tayo, syempre, meron tayong special coverage on November 6. Not just us, but different programs on One News as well.
Tingnan natin kung ito na ba yung... marami kasi humahype dito na the most consequential, the most crucial elections in our lifetime daw. Bakit nga ba? Kasi ang daming mga na baka this time si Trump mag-double down sa kanyang perceived fascism. No, may mga debate ito, may mga essays, may mga editorials, is Trump a fascist? No? Yan ang mga tanong, mga argumento. Kasi isipin mo, ang isa daw sa mga on his very first day, maliban sa he vows to be a dictator only on the first day. Na tricky na statement yun. Sabi niya, first day daw, mass deportation daw siya.
Yes.
So yun pa rin, yung lingwahe kasi na ginagamit halimbawa ng mga pasista, ng mga Nazi, like poisoning the blood, yung xenophobia, takot sa mga immigrants, sa mga foreigners, etc., etc. At yung call to nationalism, ito basically, ito ay pattern ng mga ng mga pasista, sinasabi ng ibang mga kritiko. Anyway, ito naman medyo malungkot. Hindi malungkot talaga sa Spain, ang Haring Felipe VI and other royals and top government officials ay binato ng putik. Alam bakit? Dahil, the worst flooding daw in Spain's history nangyari dyan sa Valencia, Spain. This is a third most populous city daw na nasa eastern part ng Spain at ang tindi raw ng flash floods, ang daming namatay, halos magpas raw 200, Denise. At sinisisi nila ng gobyerno did not do enough para magkaroon ng sufficient warning. Pero once in a lifetime daw, ang pwede natin panoorin yung video.
Hay que entender el enfado y la frustración de muchas personas por lo mal que lo han pasado, por también la dificultad de comprender cómo funcionan todos los mecanismos y la operatividad de atender la emergencia. Hay que darles esperanza, atenderles la emergencia, pero también darles esperanza y garantizarles que el Estado en toda su plenitud está presente. Cada día va a ir a mejor, entiendo yo, no es especulativo. Creo que los medios van creciendo y la eficacia también va creciendo.
Ang tindi. Oo, at sinasabi parang murder, mamatay tao daw. At pag ganyan na emosyonal talaga yung mga tao. Pero ang ginawa rin itong hari daw, niyakap niya raw eh. Yung ibang mga galit, mga nagagalit daw ng demonstrador. Pero inisip mo ng mga royals, mga putik. Oo. Tingnan mo, ito satellite images. Before and after, of course, yung before yung nasa kaliwa. Isipin mo, yung laki ng area na kinain.
Sinakop, that's right.
Oo, ng flooding.
And that's why you also understand, these images, these scenes that we're seeing from the residents themselves na talagang yun nga, you said emotional, they're devastated. At
may isang picture pa dyan, partner, nagpile up yung mga sasakyan.
correct. Magkapatong na, yung isang nakita nating litrato.
Yan,
There you go.
isipin mo, ibig sabihin, parang nagkaroon na ng storm surge, pero flash flooding lang daw ito no? Meron daw ravine sa gitna nitong syudad na ito, alam mo sabi nila. Pero nabasa ko rin kanina while researching, October 1957, nagkaroon din pala ng major na baha dyan sa Valencia rin mismo. At makikita mo, isang dahilan nito, bakit kailangan nilang i-reroute yung kanilang ilog. Oo. Ang tindi. At of course, kasama na rin dyan yung climate change. Pero ang tindi talaga ng mga nangyari dyan. In fact, ito na nga, maraming areas na hindi naman tinatamaan ng mga baha dati ngayon. Kumbaga, iba na ang environmental paradigm, climatic paradigm natin sa mundong ito. At nobody spared, ika nga. So, kailangan talagang maghanda.
That's right.
Pero tangkad pala ni King Felipe, the sixth. Alam mo ba si King Felipe? The second yata yun. It was after him that the Philippines was named.
Yes.
Biruin mo, pinangalan ka sa isang lugar, sa isang hari na sabi, the sun never sets on the Spanish Empire. Ibig sabihin, hanggang kabilang bahagi ng mundo, kanila. Pero,
diba ganyan din naman sa mga Briton? Diba they also
Yes.
have the sun never sets on British soil din.
Pero ang tindi nito, kasi ang pangalan ng bansa ninyo, after wala siyang kamalay-malay, di pa nga nakapunta dito.
Oo, na meron pala siyang bansa
Diba?
na.
At bata pa siya nung pinangalan sa kanila. Kayo na.
Okay, now we move on to our other story in sports. The series between Ginebra and TNT is now tied in the PBA Governors Cup Finals. News 5 correspondent Ian Suyu reports.
Burado na ang lamang at tabla na ulit. Yan ang kwento ng Barangay Ginebra at TNT Tropang Giga sa PBA Governors Cup Finals. Matapos kasing makauna sa Game 1 at Game 2 ng TNT, bumawi naman ang Barangay Ginebra para makuha ang Games 3 at 4. First half ng Game 4 kagabi, nakalamang kaagad ang Gene Kings, 54-42. Pero muntikan pang masilat ng Tropang Giga ang laro matapos makadikit sa huling quarter, 90-97. Yun nga lang, pumalag dyan sina Maverick Ahan Misi sa kanyang 4-pointer shot na sinigundahan pa ng isang tres mula kay Stephen Holt.
Tapos na. Stephen Holt with a big three-pointer.
Panalo ang Ginebra sa final score na 106-92. Top scorer para sa Ginebra si Justin Brownlee na nagtala ng 34 points. X-factor naman ang Rookie of the Year na si Holt matapos magtala ng 18 points at 5 steals para sa Gene Kings. Bukod sa depensa, main target niya raw na depensahan si TNT import Rondae Hollis Jefferson.
Oh yeah, I mean that's just been the biggest challenge for me in this series is obviously it takes a lot of energy on the defensive end, mentally and physically just to lock in. The first 3 games I passed up some open shots that I know I needed to shoot. And today I didn't want to pass up any of those shots. I was able to, make some big time shots.
Aminado naman si head coach Tim Cone na kailangan pa nilang pag-igihin ng kanilang laro kung gusto nilang makalamang sa serye.
Well, this is the finals. It's going to be a tough go offensively, always in the finals. It's never, everybody wants to win so badly that it's never just about making shots. It's always about how much guys are going to defend and rebound and hustle, and that's what we've been able to do these last 2 games.
Bago ang Game 4, pinarangalan naman si Jefferson bilang best import of the conference, habang nakuha naman ni 8-time MVP Junmar Fajardo ang best player of the conference. Magpapatuloy ang Game 5 sa Miyerkules, 7:30 PM sa Smart Araneta Coliseum. Para sa 1PH, Ian Suyu, News 5.
Right. Binabati natin ang mga lahat ng nanonood po sa Afternoon Delight via live streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. Mag-comment na kayo. Si Tit, hindi ka pa kasi kumakain.
Ay, hindi pa pwede.
Yan ang hinihintay.
Mamaya na. O bukas na. Okay, ito, syempre, Ralph Domingo, suki natin. Good afternoon, Lourden. Ang sarap naman ng burger at fries nyo today. Oo nga, kanina pa nga ako tinatawag. Hindi ko lang matikman. Ito si
Bakit
Chop.
nga ba ayaw mo pansinin kasi?
Naka-fast pa kasi ako. Oo. Chopaeng, sabi, maulang. Chopaeng. Maulang hapon, Tito Lourdes and Tita Denise. Kakamiss yung mumurahing burger na may ginadgad. Ano yung ginadgad? Grated. Ginadgad na repolyo at kapihanggot na pipino.
Coleslaw. Oo. Huwag mo na uulitin yung pangalang yun. Next time, tawagin natin siyang Tito Rafael.
Bakit?
Imbis na yung una mong sinabi.
Chopaeng.
Tito Rafael.
Bakit? Okay. Kaya ka pala natawa.
Narinig ko nagtatawanan yung mga tao sa kabilang.
Anyway.
Nagets mo na?
Oo, ngayon
hello, Tito Rafael.
Alam niyo namang ang aking isip ay very innocent.
Aha.
Okay, sige.
Alright.
Dahil dyan, wala na kaming babatiin. De joke lang.
Okay, time out muna. Marami pa kaming kwento sa inyo. Tito Rafael, magbabalik po ang Afternoon Delight. Okay, nagbabalik po ang Afternoon Delight dito po sa One News. Ako po si Lourdes Vera.
At ako naman po si Denise Tan. Thank you for staying with us. Tropical storm Marce has slightly intensified as it moves over the Philippine Sea. Marce was last spotted 775 kilometers east of Borongan City, eastern Samar. It is packing winds of 75 kilometers per hour and gustiness of up to 90 kilometers per hour. Pag-asa expects Marce to make landfall in the vicinity of Babuyan Islands or mainland northern Cagayan on Thursday evening or Friday early morning. The tropical storm is also forecast to reach severe tropical storm status, then intensify into typhoon by tomorrow or Wednesday. Meantime, the trough of Marce, as well as the northeasterly wind flow and localized thunderstorms, will bring rains over the country today.
Okay, and to talk more about the 13 15th na bagyo na pumasok sa Pilipinas po sa taong ito. Kasama po natin ang weather forecaster po na si Lori de la Cruz ng Pag-asa. Ma'am Lori, magandang hapon po, ma'am. Totoo po ba na malamang sa malamang dadaanan ito yung mga dinaanan din nila yon sa Northern Luzon?
Magandang hapon din, sir, at sa mga kababayan natin. Tama po, may similarity po yung kanilang track. So, posible Northern Luzon at Central Luzon na naman po ang magiging sentro ng hagip nitong bagyong si Marce. Sa ngayon, wala pa pong signal na nakataas sa mga bahagi ng ating land. Magsisiwala pa po itong direct. Pero posible by tomorrow evening hanggang Wednesday, mag-start na po tayong mag-raise ng signal. And then, crucial time talaga hanggang weekend or Saturday.
Ma'am, mukhang gaano ho ba kabilis itong si Marce? Mukhang mabagal ho. At gaano ba kalapad ang kanyang mga diametro?
Ang diameter niya almost 1,000 pa rin naman din. Malaki pa rin ang diameter nito. Bukod dyan, kaya pumabagal sa dahil may humaharang na high pressure area doon sa may part ng China po. Parte ng landmass. So, hindi makakagalaw agad-agad yung bagyo. Or almost stationary siya at some point tupos sa karagatan sa Philippines bago yung lumapit sa ating kalupaan.
Paulit ng speed, ma'am. Bumagal ho ba siya? Bumilis 35 kilometers per hour. Tama ho ba?
Opo, bumilis po siya compared to last natin ng 5 a.m. na 25 kilometers per hour.
Opo. Ang interaction naman ito sa northeasterly wind flow, no? Kamusta ho ba? Ito ho ba ay hihigop po ba ng ulan?
Well, sa ngayon ba nakita natin, ang talagang makakaranas ng ulan ito, halos northern and central Luzon. Yung malapit mismo sa bagyo, sa dadaanan ng bagyo.
Alright. Okay, ma'am, sabi niyo, maari mag-intensify into a typhoon, ano? Ano ba yung posibilidad na ito tatama diyan sa mga dinaanan po nila yun, ma'am? Just to repeat the question po.
Halos similar sila ng track po. Not extreme, pero halos Northern Luzon ang apektahan.
Alright.
Ma'am Lori, ilan pa po ba yung mga inaasahang bagyo na papasok pa sa Pilipinas mula ngayon hanggang katapusan na lang po ng taon?
Possible pa po hanggang 5 pa. Pwede pa pong magkaroon ng 5 na bagyo.
Okay.
Ito bang mga malalakas sa pag-ulan, nararanasan natin dala ng ano ho bang kondisyon, anong weather system po nagdadala nito po?
Ang sa ngayon po kasi ang talagang prevailing na weather system sa Northern Luzon and Central Luzon ay easterly. So yung nangyayari sa Pacific Ocean. Pero ayun nga, coming days mas magdodominate na itong bagyo.
Ang kulit ng easterlies, ano? Nagpaparamdam ulit. Kala ko summer lang to nagpaparamdam to mga to. In fact, nung weekend ba, mainit po, ano?
Yes.
May high pressure area pala doon sa taas. Kaya, pag ganun, ma'am, natutulak pababa yung bagyo, di ba?
Yes, sir. Yun din yung reason kung bakit sub kanyang track.
Opo.
Ma'am Lori, kailan nga ulit ang La Nina?
Ngayon po, naka-alert po tayo ngayon. Ibig sabihin, may 71% chance pa rin tayo na matuloy ito. At kung hindi man siya maging full-blown La Nina episode, para po siyang La Nina-like pa rin.
Okay, ma'am. Alam namin na simula nito ngayon, wala na naman tulugan dyan sa Pag-asa. Pero maraming salamat po. Kaisa po ninyo kami, ma'am. Lori de la Cruz, ang weather forecaster po ng Pag-asa. Maraming salamat sa service ninyo, ma'am.
Meantime, it's the National Day of Mourning for the victims of storms Christine and Leon. President Bongbong Marcos honored both fatalities and survivors in Talisay, Batangas, one of the areas hardest hit by calamity. This story from mobile journalist Julie Baiza.
Mismong si Pangulong Bongbong Marcos ang nanguna sa National Day of Mourning o pag-alala sa mga biktima ng severe tropical storm Christine sa bansa. Sa Ground Zero sa Talisay, Batangas, nagsagawa ng misa at nagtulos ng kandila para sa kanila. Sinundan niya ng pamamahagi ng tulong ng gobyerno.
Nais ko pong ipaabot ang aming taus-pusong pakikiramay sa bawat Pilipinong naapektuhan ng bagyong Christine. Itinalaga natin ang araw na ito bilang National Day of Mourning sa ilalim ng Proclamation number 728. Batid namin na hindi madaling maibsan ang sakit na inyong pinagdadaanan. Ngunit umaasa kami na sa suportang handog namin ngayon, kayo ay makapagsimula muli.
60 milyong pisong tulong ang ibinigay ng Office of the President sa lalawigan ng Batangas para sa mga apektado ng bagyong Christine. Tigsa 10,000 piso naman ang ibinigay sa mga magsasaka at mangingisda na nawalan o naapektuhan ng kabuhayan dahil sa bagyo. Una ring namigay ng kagamitan sa pagkumpuni at pagpapatayo ng mga bagong tahanan. Pero higit sa material na bagay, buhay daw ang tututukan sa gitna ng kalamidad.
Layunin natin na hindi na maulit ang pagkawala ng buhay dahil sa kalamidad. Totoo na mas matindi ang mga bagyo ngayon. Mas malawak, mas malakas, mas mabilis ang pagbabago. Kaya inuulit ko ang mga kautusan sa mga ahensya ng pamahalaan. Una, inaatasan ko ang DOST na pagbutihin ang kanilang warning system upang makapagbigay ng napapanahong babala sa mga panganib dulot ng mga bagyo.
Pinaalalahanan naman ng Pangulo ang NIA, DOE, DENR at MWSS na unti-untiin ang pagbabawas ng tubig sa mga dam upang maiwasan ang pagbaha sa gitna ng bagyo. Inihabilin din ni PBBM ang angkop na disenyo ng mga tulay at kalsada para sa nagbabagong klima.
Ang ating infrastruktura ay dapat masigurong ligtas at angkop sa gitna ng unos at iba pang sakuna. Kaya inaatasan ko na siguruhin ng DPWH na hindi lang ito matatapos sa inaasahang oras, kundi matibay at kalidad din.
Hindi naman nawala ang pasasalamat ng Pangulo sa mga volunteers at first responders na nanguna sa pagsiserbisyo sa kapwa sa gitna ng pananalasa ng bagyo. Patuloy niyang isabuhay ang bayanihan ng mga Pilipino. Sa huling tala ng NDRRMC, 146 ang nasawi sa pagtama ng bagyong Christine. Mobile Journal Julie Baiza po, hatid ang mukha ng balita.
The Alagang Kapatid Foundation continues to provide assistance to Bicol where visible damage from severe tropical storm Christine remains. News 5 correspondent Mon Gualvez has a report.
Nakatagilid ng apartment ng mga butong ito sa St. Peter and Paul Ossuary sa Pulangi, Albay ng abutan ng News 5. Nagkabutas-butas pang ilang parte matapos abutin ng 3 talampakang rumaragas ang baha dulot ng bagyong Christine. Ang problema, kasamang tinangay ng tubig ang laman nitong mga buto.
Hindi bababa sa 20 sako ng mga buto ang naipon dito na pawang mga walang pagkakakilanlan. Ang problema pa, marami dito, nagkahalo-halo na yung buto ng mga nakalibing sa sementeryong ito.
Isa sa mga problemado nung undas si Lani Madrona. Naabutan pa nga namin siyang iniisa-isa ang mga sako sa pag-asang makikita ang labi ng 4 niyang kaanak.
Hindi na po namin madadalaw kung saan po nakaano. Kung nasaan na po yun, kung inanod na po ba.
Kakaunti lang din ang dumalo sa lugar nitong undas. Bukod sa maputik pa rin, maaaring hindi na raw umuwi ang iba dahil sa takot na ma-stranded. Hindi rin naman natitigil ang pagtulong. Pero sa Barangay Laganak sa Balatan, Camarines Sur, kinilangan ng gumamit ng zipline. Hindi pa rin kasi basta mararating ang lugar dulot ng kaliwat ka ng landslide na iniwan ng bagyo. Maging Alagang Kapatid Foundation nakigamit ng military truck para sa mga ayuda na inihatid sa Barangay Pulpog sa Bula, Camarines Sur. Isolated pa kasi ito nung undas dahil sa mataas na baha. Dala nila ang food packs mula sa MVP Group of Companies. Narating din ng Alagang Kapatid Foundation ang Barangay Santa Teresita sa Kanaman, Camarines Sur. Bukod sa food packs mula sa Metro Pacific Investments Foundation, meron ding solar lamps mula sa One Meralco Foundation at gamot na doxycycline mula sa Makati Medical Center na iniabot sa Barangay Health Center. Hinatiran din ng tulong ang Barangay Santa Barbara sa bayan ng Nabua sa Kamsur. Kabilang sa tumanggap ng ayuda ang mga nananatili sa evacuation center na nagtiis kamakailan sa hanggang bewang na baha. Bukod sa mga ito, una na nagdala ng ayuda ang Alagang Kapatid Foundation sa Barangay Agpay sa Ginubatan, Albay, Barangay Horowan sa bayan ng Tiwi, Barangay Marigondon sa bayan ng Pioduran at Barangay Igualdad, Naga City. Tuloy-tuloy lang tayo sa pagtulong mga kapatid. Pwede magbigay ng inyong donasyon sa bank accounts o sa Maya account ng Alagang Kapatid Foundation o mag-message lamang sa Alagang Kapatid Foundation Facebook page. Ako, si Mon Gualvez para sa 1PH.
Here's a quick rundown of more stories on One News. The filing of certificates of candidacy for the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao or BARM begins today. The COC filing period will run until November 9. A total of 73 parliamentary seats will be contested in the May 12 elections, coinciding with the national and local polls. The House Committee on Good Government has requested the Department of Justice to issue a lookout bulletin for 7 officials of the Office of the Vice President. This is amid a probe into the OVP's alleged misuse of confidential funds. The panel noted that the officials have repeatedly declined to attend hearings and may attempt to leave the country. And the Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Commission has distanced itself from an October 29 anti-POGO raid by the PNP ACG in Manila. PAOK criticized the operation as, quote, flawed due to the reported release of foreign suspects. The commission clarified it was neither consulted nor involved in the operation.
At this point, from mountains of trash left after Undas to fish in Moalboal mysteriously appearing. Let's get some news from down south. And for that, we have one News Cebu desk, Dale Israel. Dale, kamusta? Anong balita dyan?
Yes, mayong hapon, Lord and Denise. Yes, thousands of fishes mysteriously swarm the beach at Panagsama in Barangay Basdiot in Moalboal town on Sunday morning yesterday. That is not the first time this happened in the same area, and there are also similar sightings in the town of Argao in the east coast of Cebu Island just a few weeks ago. In the video posted on social media, residents were in frenzy, bringing with them their own pails and planggana and filled them with herrings, or what locally known as tuloy. There is no explanation yet as to why this phenomenon is happening in Cebu, but residents believe that this is because there is abundance of fishes already in the protected seascape of Tanyon Strait. We received reports this morning that hundreds of curious crowds are already in Panagsama to catch a glimpse of or catch fish who might be still jumping from the sea towards the shore, but there are no sightings or something like that happening today as described by residents. The BFAR has not made any statement as to why the phenomenon is happening here in Cebu. Speculations, however, have no scientific basis, claim that this might be a sign of a calamity, but then again, these are just speculations. Meanwhile, tons of garbage were collected by the Department of Public Services of the Cebu City government from the 3-day celebration of Kalagkalag or Undas. That is October 31 until November 2. Some 38.46 tons of garbage were hauled from the major cemeteries. Most of these are plastic bottles, plastic wrappers from junk foods, and plastic bags. Calamba Cemetery has most of the garbage at about 9.6 tons. Queen City Memorial Garden, 4.8 tons. And Careta Cemetery had 3.8 tons. The city government is reminding people to minimize garbage during festivities just like Undas and help preserve the environment. The cleanup of the cemeteries was contained in the executive order issued by Cebu City Mayor Raymond Garcia. Now back to you guys.
Dale, yung isdang yung sinabi mo, anong luto dyan normally? How do you cook it?
It's called tuloy here in Cebu. I think it's also called tamban. They usually fry it, and some of these are the ones being put into the canned sardines.
Tama. Or ginagawang tuyo minsan, ano? Pero Dale, congrats, ha?
That's correct, Lord.
Congratulations. Bagong hairdo. Bagay.
Thank you, Lord.
Artistahin, parang Piolo Pascual ang mga dating. Anyway, maraming salamat sa iyo. Si Dale Israel, ang ating One News Cebu desk editor at editor din ng The Freeman.
All right, you're still watching Afternoon Delight on One News. Time for another breather. We'll be right back.
Are you better off now than you were 4 years ago? Kamala, you're fired. Get out. You're fired.
There is a yearning in our country for a president who sees the people, who gets you and who will fight for you. That is what this election is about.
November 4th, 1979. Start of the Iranian hostage crisis as militants storm the U.S. Embassy in Tehran and seize its occupants. For many of the dozens of hostages, it is the start of 444 days of captivity, a saga that grips America. 1995. Hopes for Mideast peace are dealt a tragic blow as Israel's Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin is assassinated. A Jewish extremist fatally shoots Rabin minutes after he speaks at a peace rally in Tel Aviv. 1956. During the Cold War, Soviet troops move in to crush the Hungarian Revolution in Eastern Europe. It happens just weeks after students in Hungary revolt against their country's communist rulers. 1955. Baseball Hall of Famer Cy Young, who won more Major League games than any other pitcher, dies in Ohio. He was 88 years old. And 1969.
Seems like yesterday we used to rock the show. I laced the track, you locked the flow. So far from hanging on the block of dough.
Rapper and producer Sean Diddy Combs is born in New York City. Today in history, November 4th, Carlotta Bradley, The Associated Press.
And we're back. You're watching Afternoon Delight. I'm Denise Tan.
Lourdes Vera po ang pangalan ko.
Okay, the National University pulled off a major upset, defeating the University of the Philippines 67-47 in the UAAP Season 87 men's basketball. That and more UAAP action in this report.
It's a Sunday showdown for the UAAP Season 87 Round 2 eliminations over the Tigers' lair.
Good Angel with the rebound. CC left wide open. CC connects.
In the UAAP women's basketball, the mayhem in Manila continues between the FEU Lady Tamaraws and UE Lady Warriors. Bouncing back from a loss to the reigning champions UST Growling Tigresses, the women in the green and gold shirts proved to be victorious in their win against the Red Warriors, 57-51. This seals their 3-8 record with 4 games remaining in the season. Over the battle between the NU Lady Bulldogs and UP Fighting Maroons. With 45.2 seconds remaining.
Good Angel with the rebound. CC left wide open. CC connects.
Camille Clarin sealed the deal after clutching a 3-pointer to make a comeback victory of 64-59. Clarin made a total of 13 points over the final quarter and totaled 16 points, together with 5 assists and 4 rebounds. In the men's basketball, the squad from Moraita is on the run to clinch for a Final Four spot after giving the UE Red Warriors its second straight loss, 59-51. It was another VJ Pre explosion following his 31-point career high, with 20 points and 8 rebounds in this match. This marks FEU's 4-7 record, tied with Adamson at the 5th spot. The Sunday slate ends with a thrilling match between the UP Fighting Maroons and NU Bulldogs. The NU Bulldogs managed to pull an upset against the title-contending Diliman squad, with an early domination beginning the first quarter. Veteran gunner Patrick Yu contributed a total of 17 points to raise Team Hawkson's Final Four hopes. The final score, 67-47. The NU Bulldogs tie with the Ateneo Blue Eagles over a 3-8 record. Games continue this Wednesday, November 6 at the Mall of Asia Arena. It's a match-up between the De La Salle Green Archers and FEU Tamaraws, while the squads from Sampaloc, NU, and UST face off. Mobile journalist Denise Valdesancho. We are One News.
At yung may mga hangover pa sa mahabang undas weekend na ngayon na malamang ay nag-uunahan dyan sa may NLEX pabalik ng syudad. Para sa inyo itong aming I Saw Science. Anong edition ito?
It is Undas Hangover Edition. Silipin na natin ang ating unang sign.
Okay.
Nakasulat.
Sabi niya, yung iniwan yung Starbucks coffee sa puntod, tinikman ko. Kopi ko blanca ang laman. Patay na yung tao, niloloko niyo pa rin. Grabe yan.
Oh. Na-save niyo pa yung baso. Sana... Okay, never mind. Sana tinapon niyo na rin. Nag-iwan pa kayo ng kalat.
Malay mo, yun yung
yung alay, ganon. A little treat.
Hindi disposable yung baso. Next!
Ano?
Nakakainis yung mga ganyang tao. Kahapon, may nag-iwan lang basta ng pansit doon sa may puntod. Sobrang tabang, tapos walang kalamansi. Tama. Kung mag-iwan ka nga lang, yung may lasa na.
Oo, diba?
Correct.
Ano ba naman niya? Kulang-kulang eh.
Mula sa viewer natin na si Nerino Manzano.
Felt uncomfortable driving into the cemetery. The GPS blurted out, "You have reached your final destination."
Palakpakan.
Huwag ganon.
Oo. Salamat Anong pangalan na nagpadala ulit?
Si Nerino Manzano.
Neri, maraming salamat. Keep them coming. Kung may mga ganyan kayo, share nyo naman sa amin.
Send nyo lang po sa afternoondelight@gmail.com. You were saying?
Babatiin kayo ni Denise pag nagpadala kayo.
Oo. Wag lang yung mga ganong klaseng Yung totoo nyo lang na, yung mga binigay sa inyong pangalan ng mga magulang nyo. Yun lang. Okay, sige. Ayoko na bumati. Baka mabiktima na naman tayo. Teka lang.
Tito Rafael.
Oo, ay, nako.
Hello. Tito Rafael.
Michelangelo, Gabriel. Yun na ng mga babatiin
Alex
ko.
Fuentes, of course. Si Novelin Makilan. Loud S, sabi niya. Martin May Andar. Hello, gwapong Lord. Ito sinabi niya talaga.
Nakikita ko ngayon.
At ang pinakamagandang Denise, hindi niya specify kung sino. Malamang si Valdez.
Ay, grabe siya.
Ang tambalang kasama ko lagi, mag-urong. Ha? In a way, natutulungan niyo ako matapos ang aking mga... Ano ba ibig sabihin urungin?
Hindi ko alam.
Sana hindi mahala ito, no? Uy, may
Ay, maghugas daw ang ibig sabihin. Maghugas ng pinggan.
Ito, may nagpapadala ng biblical verse about destruction, pero huwag na natin basahin. Pero thank you, daughter. Lawrence Villanueva, watching from Negros. God bless daw, sabi ni Lawrence Villanueva.
Thank you. Tignan mo ako, hindi ko nakikita yan.
Ay, talaga?
Oo, let there be light.
Magbayad
Mabuhay
ka kasi.
po kayo.
Magbayad ka ng phone bills mo. Bea Dalisay, of course, Hangkaro, Jomar Tians. Habang nanonood raw siya, nag-multitasking siya.
Ano-ano mga ginagawa mo?
Hindi niya sinabi. Asan si Rafael, si Tito Paeng?
Ay, nako. Ewan.
Novelin Makilan. Ayan. At yun lang, ang bilis, di ba? Sarap talaga magtrabaho, Denise.
Sarap talaga. Sana everyday, kahit Saturday, Sunday, why not?
Ikaw na bahala magpaalam sa kanila, Tita Denise.
Okay, for Monday, that will have to do it for us. Ngayon pong November 4. Thank you for watching Afternoon Delight. I'm Denise Tan. Siya po si Lord De Vera. Tomorrow, please join us again at 2 p.m. Now we leave you to it. Have a delightful afternoon. I'll go back. Ina lang eh.